All right, defensive back drills, and I really do apologize. I have all these DB drills filmed. I had them all filmed. I have no idea what happened. I guess they got deleted for space on Huddle. I've had them filmed since last year, and they're just gone. But you'll have all this stuff on the site too. So we start off pedal return. Our stance, and I'll just tell you real quick, when we're an off man, or if we are in, we play a ton of man coverage, so that's where these come from. When we play, we don't drill anything specifically for cover 3, other than our umbrella drill, and we'll do a zone drop with our linebackers too. With our strong safety, weak safety, we'll go with our linebackers. They'll do a zone drop as well. We'll do that all together. A lot of times we'll just do that in 7-on-7. We won't do a separate drill. Pedal return, this is our man coverage stuff. Off man. So what we're going to do is feet are slightly narrower than shoulder width. We're going to have our inside foot up, and they need to know where their leverage is at. If they are inside leverage, then their outside foot will be back. If they're outside leverage, then their inside foot will be back. So if we're playing, they don't always do this perfect. Our freshman out there, I don't think he had his feet right, hardly at all this year. But if we've got a wide receiver out here that we're playing outside leverage on for our safeties, or inside, we'd be inside with our corner, but we'd be outside with our safeties in cover 1. So if we're playing here, strong safety, he's going to have his inside foot back. Because remember that we're square. I don't know that there's a purpose for this. We're keying the quarterback through our 3-step. Okay? We're squatted down. We're in a quarter squat position with our chest up. We are not low. We are not low. They're not going to be making contact in a couple of seconds. And Dale Basquette, that runs the weekly column in American Football Monthly, we paid for him to come out and coach our kids on speed training. And we said, look, how do we apply this to all these different positions? And he wanted our defensive backs to be higher in their stance. So we did. We fixed that. We changed that. It's, they're faster. I'd rather have fast. But we're going to step with the inside foot, with the back foot first. It's a short 6-inch step. That'll be our first step, short. Second step, third step. We're slow pedal for 3 steps, keying that quarterback. Slow pedal. And then the first thing we're going to work on is a T-step. On a T-step, let's say that we now saw run. So the quarterback on our third step, we know it's run, outside run. We're going to turn our foot, whichever one's there. We're not that concerned. Turn that foot, should be the outside one, or the inside one, but which one it is. Turn that foot to get all 7 cleats in the ground. So it should be at a 90-degree angle. And then we're coming up to attack. So the first thing we're going to work here is a pedal return. We're going to start in there. I'm going to stand right here. And what I do, because we've got so many DBs, especially during the off season where we don't have as many coaches, I'll put 4 cones out, and I'll put a line on each cone and give them a ball. Have your DBs catch a football as often as possible. I know most of them are receivers, and they're catching balls during that time, but have them catch a ball as often as possible. So he's going to go slow 3-step. I'll go ball high. He'll pedal, and then I'll pull the ball down. He T-steps and drives. Or what I'll have them do also is I'll pick ball up, and I'll have them key my front hand. And that's what tells us to drive. So we'll have the quarterback take his hand off the ball, coach, whoever, hand off ball. When that hand comes off ball, they're driving on it. We're teaching them to play like a hitch route right now. Hand comes off ball, they start driving, and we just throw the ball and they catch it, sprint through the cone. We want the T-step to be within the frame of their body. I'll show you that on, I can't really show it to you on film. I can show it to you on our umbrella drill. But the T-step needs to be under their hips. That shouldn't be stepping way back. We want to keep the shoulders active. That means that their arms don't stop. They don't get these straight arms. Their shoulders just keep working and it accelerates. And that's part of our speed training. With the outside foot up, do you take the first step? You always take the first step with the foot that's back. The first step is always with the foot that's back. So if we were inside leverage, if I'm inside leverage here, If I'm inside leverage, that means that I'm in one-on-one man coverage. I don't have free safety help. Okay, I'm in inside leverage here. I'm going to step. First foot will be that back foot. Second, third. And it's just a short step. That first step is. It is a slow pedal. They don't even pedal all the time. Our corners do. That's just what they do. Our corners press more than anything, but our safeties, if they'll pedal, if this guy is significantly faster than them, if he's not that fast, they'll just stand. They'll play 8 off and they'll play just like they're playing cover 3. They'll stand in a balanced stance and they'll just stand and read. I don't worry about it. I want them to get into that pedal if that guy's going to run by him. And if he's not, or if they're playing on a tight end, they don't pedal. We bounce on that, but we drill that in umbrella drill. We don't have a drill for that. Then we do the same thing, pedal break. Pedal break, they're going to pedal and we're going to work an inside route. Pedal break, we're going to work an outside route. All we're doing is working different T-steps. I'll point them with my shoulder. I'll just point this way. Shoulder goes this way, they drive inside. Quarterback shoulder goes that way, they T-step and drive out. Quarterback shoulder goes up, they open up and we'll just throw a ball up, high point it. So it's just breaking on different routes. You can set up cones from the drive to. It helps me because I'm the worst quarterback. I'm the worst coach quarterback in the history of the planet. That's why most of the time you see my DB drills, I'm not the one throwing it. I got 5 quarterbacks in my DB group. So they're throwing them. I'll have one of them go first, and they'll switch out with another one. But you can put a cone here and a cone here and say, all right, when you drive, we're going to throw the ball at this spot. That's where he's going to catch it. Again, just having them T-step and drive, having them catch balls. You can do this same thing, this same drill with your safeties. Have them open up at their 45 just like a linebacker, and then have them T-step and drive as well. Most of our cover 3 work comes in 7-on-7. And we coach it there. For our safeties, honestly, most of our free safety, weak safety, strong safety, most of their pass work period will come in that after we do these drills every day during, or whenever we get a chance during 7-on-7 time, during the summer, during the spring. When they find out real quick, our weak safety, strong safety find out real quick that they're glorified linebackers come the season. Pedal break, I like this drill. It's a competition drill, and it teaches them how to attack a ball. 2 DBs stand side by side. They're going to backpedal out. They're about a yard apart. Okay, they're backpedaling out. We've got a coach standing right here. Okay, so the coach is standing right here. When they start pedaling, they don't know who's who. Okay, when they start pedaling, they're just 2 guys pedaling next to each other. Then the quarterback opens his shoulders one way or the other. So if he opens to the left here, now the DB on the left, on the coach's left or the quarterback's left, becomes the receiver and he just breaks an out route. Okay. The other guy breaks top side hip and he's the DB now. Quarterback throws it. Okay, throw it wherever you want to. What he needs to know, and this is what he's learning, is can I intercept it? If I can intercept it, I go after the ball with 2 hands. If I cannot intercept it, but I can break up the pass, I break up the pass with 1 hand while the other hand is securing the tackle. If I can't get a hand on the ball, I'm going to shoot my hands through his body and separate his arms to break up the catch or to make the tackle. But I'm going to make sure that I get the tackle. Okay? So there's 3 things. Can I intercept it? Go with 2 hands. Can I just break it up? 1 hand to the ball, secure tackle with the other hand. Or can I not do either and make the tackle? So then what we say is now it's a competition. So you'll have the same 2 guys going against each other 3 or 4 times in a row. And they're competing. Okay? Because these guys will try to jump because there's nothing at stake for them right now. They'll try to jump everything. When they keep trying to jump it, and the first time maybe you throw a nice little ball right here and he jumps it and he picks it. The second time I'll pull it and I'll loft it up over. I'll just throw a nice easy lob pass so that when he jumps that thing and jumps underneath, almost like a wheel route on him. Teach him to stay topside hip. Teach him to stay topside hip and not to jump the route until the ball is out. And then he's got to learn. He's just learned to break on the ball. Real nice drill to teach them that, but you need to make it a competition. Otherwise, they're going to go for the breakup, and if they don't get it, it's like, oh well. You got to make it a competition. Keep a score, 1-1, 2-1. Keep a scoring system for it, so that they and give them as much credit or more for this than you do for this. Okay. Especially if it's me playing quarterback, because I'm a piss poor quarterback. Nobody's going to throw a ball that bad. All right, then we work our in-phase and out-of-phase coverage drills. You have to teach them, whether you're in man or zone coverage, you have to teach them what in-phase and out-of-phase means. And this is, if you're running zone cover 3, this is going to be more for your corners. But if you're running, like we're running man coverage, everybody works this for us, linebackers included. In-phase means that we are on his hip. And what I want my hand on his topside hip. I want to be able to put so in this case, the corner, his right hand, I want it to be resting on, padding, not resting on it, because we're running. So when I run, when my arm swings, my hand should be padding his inside hip. And I'll squeeze it. We'll work the squeeze into it later. But I just want him to be able to run with his hand padding that topside hip. I don't want to be in trail technique. I want to be padding that topside hip as I'm running. I want to keep feeling it. If I'm running and I can feel that topside hip, I can feel if he runs a comeback or a back shoulder fade. And back shoulder fades happen. They just do. So I'm not going to overemphasize trying to play it. It's high school. But as long as I can feel it, I can come back to it. What we do, instead of trying to throw the ball up from this in-phase position, again, we want everything to end with the ball. We'll have the receiver run with the ball in his hands. And he runs for about 5 yards, 6 yards, and he's just carrying the ball. And after 5 or 6 yards, he holds the ball up and out as if he's catching it over his shoulder. And our DB now will take his hand, this hand that was on topside hip, he will take that hand that was on topside hip, and now he'll bring it up and separate that arm. So he'd be separating the left arm of the receiver from the ball. We're not trying to swat the ball, but we want to get our hand up between his arms and separate his arm. As long as we do that, he cannot pull the ball back into his body. And that's what we want to prevent him from being able to do, is pull the ball back into his body. This, more than anything, is going to teach what in-phase and out-of-phase mean. And that's extremely important. They really need to know what that concept is. Okay, then we'll go to out-of-phase. And all we're going to do in out-of-phase is we start 2 yards behind, and this is working their eyes. So in phase, we're allowed to look back for the ball. As long as we're in phase, we're allowed to look back for the ball. And that's important to teach. We're out of phase, they're going to lock their eyes. We start 2 yards behind. Their eyes are locked on the hip. That same place where we were patting the hand before. When they're out of phase, their eyes are locked on that hip, and they are sprinting. Nothing else in the world matters but sprinting back to that hip if he's beating you. Once you get to that hip, now you get that hand on top side hip, and now you're running in phase. So it ends up just being an in phase drill. But it starts as out of phase, and you're teaching the eyes. You're teaching them eyes on that hip when they need to catch up. When they get there, they're patting the hip, and now that they can touch the hip, they can look back. And that's the same in zone drill. In zone, if that guy beats you, you got to do the same thing. I think in phase and out of phase are extremely important drills from the learn. Okay, then our corners are going to work defeat, stalk. Our weak safety, free safety are going to work block, destruct like we did with linebackers. They're going to do the exact same drill. They're going to work rip, and they're going to work block, destruct. The receiver's got the ball in both hands. He's holding the ball in both hands. He's just holding it out in front like I think it's a baby or something. I don't know how to hold a baby. He's got it just held out in front in both hands, and he's just going to hold it up. When he's holding the ball, I didn't explain it very well. When he's holding the ball, he's running with it out in front. So you can see it. He's running with out in front, and that receiver's running to his hip, and then he just holds it up. And that DB's hand will come through and try to break his arm up. Okay, so what we're doing on the defeat stalk, he's getting a stalk block by the receiver. Receiver's coming off to block him. We use a bag for the most part. This is for our cover 3 safety, our cover 3 corner for the most part. He's going to be in his 3-step, key and quarterback. And again, we play inside leverage. We play outside leverage now, but here he's in an inside leverage. He's got the quarterback inside. He's pedaling and keying that quarterback. He reads run. Okay, his eyes go to the receiver who's coming up to block him, and he's going to attack. And the same thing that we do, we're either going to rip through with the inside arm, or we'll work post and rip. We don't work them much on getting the striking him head up, but they'll sometimes just end up in that position where we'll get the strike, inside hand strike, outside hand, almost like the defensive lineman hitting strike point and then ripping off if those guys get into him. And then what we'll do too, off of this, is we'll add in a contain read on the safety, where if the safety has contain, he can go, if you can see it's an outside run and the safety has this play contained, he can see that and he can attack to the inside. That's a little more advanced, but if he sees that the safety has a run contained, he does not have to go outside of the receiver. That's more for our umbrella drill. But when we're just working block defeat, for them it's a little different because they're playing in a wide open area. We'll give them an area, a box to work with. Monkey in the middle. There's an article on footballdefense.com about this, which is proof that I did have film because the clips in that are from the film. But it may even have the film of Monkey in the Middle on there. But I believe it's in the membership section. But I'll post it if I can. If that's the only film I can get, I'll do it. I'll try to get some DBs to go out. Unfortunately, they all play basketball and baseball, so I don't know when I'll be able to get them or track. But monkey in the middle for us, really important for our free safeties because you're going to get, when we play outside leverage, man coverage, they're obviously going to try to hit those seam routes. But also for our cover 3 corners, splitting 2 verticals in their zone. What we have them do is backpedal, key in the quarterback, and we'll build this drill up to where we've got a corner inside. And they're all just keying it, doing the same thing, splitting. Favor to the inside receiver for the corners. There's also an article from Kirby Smart, not an article, clinic notes from Kirby Smart on gridironchat.com that talks about their cover 3 drill. Same basic thing, but your corners are going to favor 2/3 the inside receiver. What that means is 2/3 of their attention is to the inside receiver, 1/3 of their attention is to the outside. So if I've got a receiver, I've got one out here doing this as a corner, I'm going to be working here. I've got plenty of time to break back to that. And you're teaching them how far off they need to play. You're teaching them how far they can go when the ball's in the air. Have a quarterback who can throw a good ball. If it's you, great. If it's me, I'm not the guy to run this drill. I send him with our corners coach. He was a quarterback, and he's really good at throwing interceptions. So, I send him over with him, and because when I try to do it, it's just a floater every time. But or we use the 5 quarterbacks that I have in my position group. But what they're going to do is they're going to pedal, key that quarterback's shoulder. Don't come off your track in your zone until you see that handoff ball from the quarterback, and then break. And break downhill. Don't break at the ball. Break at the receiver. Unless you can get the interception. I'd rather you drive downhill because you'll see sometimes balls sail over our receiver's head, and the free safety is here. He's playing a little too much ball for me. I want to know a little bit more about where the receiver is. He needs to attack the ball. I guess what I would tell him is attack the ball at the furthest up that it can be caught. We teach our free safety, and I talked about this last time, that he's responsible for this area, and this is from Nick Saban. He's responsible for this area to about 2 yards outside of the hash. And I need him to learn to play that whole area. So I'm going to work balls short in it. I'm going to work balls deep in it. Without a linebacker dropping underneath, you can easily nail these balls right in here. I mean, you can just pelt them in there and just get him learning to break on it. I mean, he'd pedal and break. So you just learn to break on balls. Really important drill, especially if you're going to play a lot of cover 3. That free safety in the corners are running quite a bit. And this will be when you'll run this when your weak safety and strong safety are with your linebackers. And then bump and run again. We play a lot of press man coverage. Because of the amount that we play, we do a ton of technique work. Our DB's coach does a ton of technique work. Them foot fire. It's just a little bit beyond the realm of what we can do and the time that we have to go into all the foot fire stuff. But we play inside leverage, about a yard off. One of our corners is just great at taking advantage. He does this thing where he checks with the official, and then he steps up about 2 inches, so he can hold hands with the receiver. It's pretty funny when you watch it on film because he does it all the time. He checks with the official. He's still moving, and the official tells him he's fine, and then he goes up, and I mean he's literally there's like not enough space for a pencil to go between his fingers and the receiver's fingers, and the officials don't never throw a flag on it. It's amazing to me. But he talks to the officials. So we work inside hand jam as much as possible. I don't like to go with the 2-hand jam. Strike with that inside hand. Absorb with the feet. Sponge technique. We're not forceful on the jam. We just want to disrupt the route. If he starts running around us, that's fine. So what we'll have the receiver do is he'll go inside, and then when he breaks outside, so when he goes inside, this corner here would have his left arm jamming. And then we have the switch to the outside. I take that back. He's an outside leverage there. He would actually be jamming. He'll punch with this outside arm. As soon as that guy goes inside, he's going to use an offhand jam is what we call it. Okay? So now he's going to start driving him down with that right arm. When they switch, when the receiver cuts back the other way, he's going to switch his hand. And we'll just keep working over top for about three movements. And then he'll open up to the outside. We'll fall into an in-phase position with that hand on his hip and run with him. And what I'll do is have somebody down here with a ball just to throw a ball at him real quick. We can do a highest point, or we can finish with the ball at the end. Highest point, a lot of times you have the ball not being caught. That's kind of annoying. Most of your bump and run technique work is going to come in one-on-ones. Corners will go do one-on-ones during 9-on-7